We know that for at least 20 years, Saddam Hussein has aggressively and obsessively sought weapons of mass destruction by any means available. We know that he has chemical and biological weapons today. He's used them in the past, and he's doing everything he can to build more. Each day, he inches closer to his long-term goal of nuclear capability, a capability that could be less than a year away. I believe that Saddam Hussein's Iraqi regime represents a clear threat to the United States, to our allies, to our interests around the world, and to the values of freedom and democracy that we hold dear. Saddam has proven his willingness to act irrationally and brutally against his neighbors and against his own people. Iraq's destructive capability has the potential to throw the entire Middle East into chaos and poses a mortal threat to our vital ally, Israel. What's more, the terrorist threat against America is all too clear. Thousands of terrorist operatives around the world would pay anything to get their hands on Saddam's arsenal. And there is every possibility that he could turn those weapons over to terrorists. No one can doubt that if the terrorists of September 11th had had weapons of mass destruction, they would have used them. On September 12th, 2002, we can hardly ignore the terrorist threat and the serious danger that Saddam would allow his arsenal to be used in aid of terror. Iraq has continued to develop its arsenal in defiance of the collective will of the international community, as expressed through the United Nations Security Council. It is violating terms of the ceasefire that ended the Gulf War and ignoring as many as 16 UN Security Council resolutions, including 11 resolutions concerning Iraq's efforts to develop weapons of mass destruction. These UN resolutions are not unilateral American demands. They involve obligations Iraq has undertaken to the international community. By ignoring them, Saddam Hussein is undermining the credibility of the United Nations, openly violating international law, and making a mockery of the very idea of international collective action, which is so important to the United States and to our allies. The time has come for decisive action. With our allies, we must do whatever is necessary to guard against the threat posed by an Iraq armed with weapons of mass destruction.